Dear students, today we are going to the next topic, cantilever beam with fixed at A, and then there are three loads presenting in B, C and D points. So in beam point 300 Newton load is available, and then C point 500 Newton load is available, and also D point 800 Newton load is available. So in this problem, draw SFT and BMD. So basically SFT means shear force diagram, and BMD is bending moment diagram. So these are the very simplest problem. So first you have find out the shear forces, and then you have to draw the shear force diagram, and second one you have to find out the moment, and then you have easily draw the diagram of bending moment. So first you have find out the shear force reactions. So determine the shear force reactions. One formula is available. So left side upward point is positive, upward force is positive, and downward force is negative. And also the right side upward force is negative and downward is positive. So you have to consider A point is left side, and then D point is right side. So you have to calculate the shear forces right to left. Okay, so right to left means D point and C point and B point and A point. So in right side, the formula for right side shear force calculation, upward is negative and downward is positive. Okay, so at shear force at point D, so without point load is 0, and then with the point load is 800 Newton. So right side downward point is positive. So SF at deep is equal to 800 Newton. And then going to the next one, C. So in C point, shear force at C without point load is 800 Newton, and then additionally added with the point load 500 Newton. So right side downward is positive, so you can add 800 plus 500, so 1300 Newton. And then going to the next one, B point. So shear force at B point without point load is 800 plus 500, 1300 Newton, and then with the point load is 1300 Newton plus additionally added downward force is basically positive, so 1300 plus 300, so 1600 Newton. Going to the next point, A point. So right to left, so at A point, total load of the beam, you have to simply calculate it. Total load of the beam means 300 plus 500 plus 800, so totally 1600. Very simple. So you can add all the total loads presenting in the beam. These are the very simplest calculation. Okay, so at point A, without point load is 0, with the point load is 1600 Newton. Okay, so you have to simply draw the diagram. You mark the 0 line. The above the 0 line are positive, and below the 0 line are negative. So in our shear force values are, all the values are positive. So diagram is going to the upward direction, so above the 0 line. Okay, so A point 1600 Newton positive, and then B point 1600 Newton positive, and then C point 1300 Newton positive, and also D point 800 Newton. So you can mark the values, and then simply you have to draw the shear force diagram. Okay, next we going to the bending moment. These are the, in general concept, cantilever beam bending moment at free support is always 0. Okay, so bending moment at the D point is 0. And then going to the next point C. So at C point, so right side of C point, only 800 Newton load is available at the free end. So in general formula for calculating bending moment, load into perpendicular distances. So in right side of C point, only one downward load is available. So for bending moment calculation, right side clockwise is negative and anti-clockwise load is positive. So 800 Newton load is moving downward direction. So clockwise rotation. So load is 800 Newton and the perpendicular distance is 0.8 meter. So in general formula for calculating bending moment, load into perpendicular distances. So load is 800 and the perpendicular distance is 0.8 meter. So 800 into 0.8 meter. Okay, so these are the bending moment. And then going to the B point. So going to the B point, so right side of B point, there are two downward loads are available. Okay, so right side of B point, so at the D point, load is 800 and the distance is 0.8 plus 0.7 up to B point. Okay, so 800 Newton load into perpendicular distance 0.8 plus 0.7. So 0.8 plus 0.7 means 1.5 meter. So simply 800 Newton clockwise rotation downward direction. So right side clockwise rotation is negative. So load is 800 and the perpendicular distance is 1.5 meter. And then second load. So load is 500 and the perpendicular distance is 0.7. So same downward direction. So rotation is clockwise. So put negative direction. Okay. And then going to the A point. So in right side of A point, there are three loads are available. Okay. So first one load is D point. So loading at D point, 800 Newton downward direction. So right side clockwise rotation is negative. So 800 Newton into perpendicular direction, 0.8 plus 0.7 plus 0.5. So totally 2 meter. Okay. So minus 800 into 2 meter. And then going to the point C, 500 into zero point 0.7 plus 0.5. So that is 1.2 meter. So minus 500 into 1.2 meter. And then going to the point B, so load is 300 Newton, downward direction rotating clockwise. So right side rotating clockwise is negative also. So load is 300 and the distance is 0.5. So load into perpendicular distance 300 into 0.5 meter. Okay. So right side of A, 800 into 2 meter minus 500 into 1.2 meter and then 300 into 0.5 meter. So definitely you get it answer. So going to the answers. So these are the answers of bending moment. So bending moment at D 0 and bending moment at C minus 640 Newton meter, and then bending moment at B minus 1550 Newton meter, and then bending moment at A minus 2350 Newton meter. Okay. So we have to mark the points. I already told you have to draw the 0 line. In above the 0 line is positive, below the 0 line is negative. So all the values are negative values. So you can mark the points below the 0 line and you can easily draw the bending moment diagram. So and finally get it answer shear force diagram and bending moment diagram. Thank you. Thank you, students.